Bruce Wayne's shady and non-trusting ways seem to actually lead to no one trusting him either. Which, yeah, actually, I kinda get that. We've already done a part 1, but now get ready for a part 2 of the top 10 good guys who betrayed Batman. Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond. How can Bruce Wayne betray himself? Well, unless we're speaking in a philosophical or psychological way, he can't. That's why this point is talking about Batman Beyond, which is Terry McGinnis. In Batman Beyond, issue 31, 32, and 33, after visiting Arkham Asylum, Bruce Wayne begins to act rather strangely. He begins drinking at odd times, he doesn't seem to care when Terry is on the verge of death, with Terry's brother having to step in to save him, and he seems to go gambling and brags about his money a lot too, which is kinda strange. Most shocking of all though, he shoots at Terry when he's confronted and tackles him off a ledge. It turns out, it isn't actually Bruce Wayne. It's actually a doppelganger villain named Falseface, so it's all good. And I'm sure none of you are surprised. Jezebel Jet. In the Batman R.I.P. comic, the group known as the Black Glove started working in Gotham, and Bruce Wayne immediately smelt foul play. At a point during this conflict, his love interest at the time, Jezebel Jet, was revealed to be a double agent. Jezebel and the Black Glove even buried Batman alive. But Batman is one guy whose heart you don't want to mess with. He rises from the grave, revealing he was merely pretending to be in love with her too. Then he reveals her whole backstory, which he seemed to already know. She then left, vowing to get revenge on Bats, which seems a little backwards to me, before being killed by Talia al Ghul. The Crimson Knight. Richard Lyons was a character that appeared in Detective Comics number 271. He was also known by the name Crimson Knight, and was a vigilante in Gotham, gaining the trust of the GCPD as well as the heroic duo of Batman and Robin. Being the good guys though, they had a sneaking suspicion he may not have been on the up and up, and after confronting him after he tried to steal some valuables, it was revealed that he was actually Crime Lord Lyons. And he was promptly captured, and his career as both a hero and a villain were both ended. The Cavalier. The Cavalier was a swashbuckling, sword-wielding hero who first appeared in Legends of the Dark Knight number 32. Batman was a big fan of the Cavalier actually. He had such a positive outlook when fighting crime, and he was a man of gallantry and honor, and he reminded Bruce Wayne of his childhood, being very similar to Zorro, who Bruce Wayne was a fan of. Sadly, the Cavalier let Batman down when he started resorting to a life of crime when he realized just how much easier it was compared to fighting crime. So he's not so honorable after all, it seems. The Justice League. There are actually multiple storylines involved here. Basically, in the Tower of Babel story, it's revealed that Batman has contingencies for every member of the Justice League in case anything were to go sour. When Ra's al Ghul gets his hands on these plans though, he uses them against the Justice League. Now, Batman is able to defeat Ra's, but it causes the entire Justice League to lose a bit of trust in Batman. I just want to pause to say, this is kind of dumb. He's Batman. You think he wouldn't have a plan for scenarios like that? But hey, conflict sells. Either way, after the Joker ends up hitting the core members of the Justice League with Joker Toxin in the Endgame storyline, they all turn on Batman, leading to a completely awesome moment where he takes them all on and comes out on top. Yeah, they were not in their right minds, but their actions were slightly fueled by the distrust caused by the event of the Tower of Babel. Catwoman, Dark Knight Rises. Now, if you haven't seen Dark Knight Rises yet, well then you clearly wouldn't care if I spoil a tiny little plot point. Batman makes a deal with Selina Kyle to give her a program called the Clean Slate that will eliminate her criminal past in exchange for her leading him to Bane. To be fair, she does lead Batman to the villain, only it's a trap and Bane beats the ever-living heck out of Bruce, breaking his back. She did it to save her own skin, but I just feel like if she put a little bit more faith in Bruce, maybe the movie would have ended way earlier. But I like how the rest of the story goes, so a betrayal that ultimately wasn't so bad, right? Hey guys, before we carry on, I just want to quickly shout out the top 10 nerd presence on Facebook. Check us out there, and also, if you are enjoying the video, smack that like and subscribe button, it really helps us out. Thanks for all the support guys, it means a lot. Flashpoint Batman. When the Flashpoint universe was created, it changed a lot of characters. Possibly one of the most interesting ones though, was Batman, who in this universe is actually Thomas Wayne, with Bruce being killed instead, and Martha Wayne becoming the Joker. It's twisted and cool, and this Batman has a different moral code. killing criminals. When he finds out that mainline Bruce Wayne becomes the Batman, he deems this unacceptable and tries to change his son's ways. Instead of being, I don't know, a good father though, he teams up with Bane to break Bruce. Things get out of hand in the City of Bane event, which actually ended up with Thomas killing Alfred Pennyworth, which broke everyone. He very clearly regretted his actions, but I don't know, man, you ain't coming back from that one. Not for me, sorry, you're done. Superman Dark Knights of Steel. I heavily regret not talking about this when we covered the top 10 new DC universes. Dark Knights of Steel takes place in a medieval fantasy version of the DC universe. It's super cool. The Wayne family used to rule over the land until Jor-El lands on Earth after escaping Krypton, and they easily take over. Bruce and Kal-El are actually unknowing brothers, with Bruce being Jor-El's half-son. After a whole bunch of stuff happens that I won't tell you because you should read it, Bruce reveals the truth of his parentage to Kal, who stabs him in the chest with a shard of kryptonite. He then flies him up into the sky and throws him into the ground. Now, we don't know yet how the story is going to go from here on, or I don't know, but it definitely surprised me and I wanted you to all know so we can all follow along together. Ghostmaker. The Ghostmaker and Batman actually go back a long time, having met when they were both training to become vigilantes. They were easily friends. But the difference between the two lay deeply in their core values and motivations. The motivation of Bruce's parents' death didn't sit well with Ghostmaker, and actually caused them to fall out. The Ghostmaker saw crime fighting as an art rather than a duty, and he lacked a sense of empathy that brought Bruce to classify him as a psychopath. They fought multiple different times and ultimately agreed that the Ghostmaker will stay far out of Gotham. That is, until Joker War, when he invaded Gotham, incapacitating Batman and the Bat family plus some other heroes, and he tries to save Gotham. Yeah, that makes sense. DC versus vampires. Alright, this one is hot off the presses. This year we got the DC versus vampires storyline that I didn't even know about it until making this video. Basically, the vampires are building themselves up to take on the world, turning many superheroes and supervillains into vampires. There's a mystery, however, surrounding who exactly the hero leader of the vampires could be. After testing all the members of the Bat family, it's determined that none of them are vampires, so at least he has that. After some intense detective work and a whole lot of other stuff that I don't want to spoil, the leader of the vampire army is finally revealed. Spoiler warning, okay? If you want to read this, turn off the video now. Okay? It's frickin' Nightwing! Revealed as he plunges his fist straight through an unaware Batman's chest nonetheless. What? He had been consuming the blood of Starfire, which has the unique ability to make vampires immune to their natural weaknesses. I'm gonna be staying tuned on how the story progresses, but Vampire Nightwing? Oh yes. Oh yes, 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 yes. Alright, you little nerds. That's the list. Let me know what you thought down below. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and smack that like and subscribe button. I'm Adam Andrews. You can find my socials down below. This is Top 10 Nerd. Until next time, peace out, nerds.